Hey everyone, welcome to Pink Tutu Tarot. So today's reading, we're looking at your career in the year ahead. It's a timeless reading, so whenever you find this video, whenever you watch it, that's when it's meant for you. And that's when the timing starts. So the year ahead starts now, and we're going to look at what you can expect when it comes to your career. So I've got 3 readings for you, 3 cards. Group 1, your card is card number 8, and it's community. Community. Group 2, your card is number 50, and it's no place like home. And finally, group 3, your card is number 26, happy, happy. All right, so all you have to do now is choose your card, go down into the description box, click on the timestamp for the card for the group you want to watch, and it will take you straight to that reading. All right, thanks, y'all. Hey, group 1. All right, so we're going to take a look at what you can expect in your career, in your job, in your work over the next year. So your initial card is number 8, and it says community. I'm going to leave that here while we pull your other cards. I'm going to do a full Celtic cross spread today. Let me give these a quick shuffle first. All right. Okay, here are your cards. Let's just take a look at what's at the bottom of the deck here. And you have the star card at the bottom of the deck. All right, we'll leave these over here and lay these cards out. So at the heart of your reading, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. That's being challenged by the Two of Swords. The base of your reading, 7 of Wands reversed. Recent past, King of Cups reversed. Crowning your reading, the 10 of Pentacles. Near future is the Emperor. Your energy is the Lovers. Your environment, 6 of Wands reversed. Advice from Spirit is the 10 of Wands reversed. And the outcome is the 10 of Cups reversed. Okay, I'm also going to pull a couple of Lenormand cards that we'll get to at the end. You have the Cross. And the Bouquet. All right, we'll leave these cards for the end, and we'll jump into your spread here for your career over the next year. And the timing for this begins whenever you find this reading. Whenever you're drawn to it, whenever you watch it, it's the year ahead following that time point. All right, give me just a second. I just like to listen for some initial messages as we get started and see if there's anything they want to tell you up front. And then we'll walk through this spread and these cards and see what lies ahead for you. All right, hold on one sec, y'all. First thing they're telling me is that you have been challenged when it comes to your work. It may have been feeling like over the past year-ish, more or less, depending on you and your situation, but it may have felt like things haven't been going your way, like things haven't been working out. You've had situations that kind of caused you to stumble, roadblocks, detours, that kind of thing. It's just, they're telling you you've had a really tough time of it, a really challenging time of it. Not that it's been bad necessarily, but it's been, they're saying it's kind of like slogging through mud or through deep snow. Like it's a lot of work to make any progress. Okay, they're saying the year ahead is going to alleviate some of that. It's not going to be easy. So don't expect like all of a sudden everything, like all the challenges are going to go away and it's going to be, sunshine and roses the rest of the year. There's still challenges ahead, but bit by bit, you're going to see these challenges transform, evolve, they're saying, into experience that you can recognize. You're going to recognize why you've gone through some of these challenges. And that experience will open up to opportunity and to progress. So it's not been for nothing. What you've been going through has been tough, but the opportunities that lie ahead on the other side of this will not only make the challenges worth it, but the opportunities are going to be possible because of what you have learned from the challenges. And what they're giving me, and this isn't to say that this is the case, but if you're familiar with astrology at all, they're giving me the sense of Saturn hanging out in your career sector. Now, when it comes to your horoscope chart, that may be accurate, may not be. They're just giving me that sense of restriction, of challenges, of a lot of things being like moved out of the way so that you can focus on what you need to do, what you need to know. Yes, it comes with some difficulties, but it's because those difficulties are teaching you something. It's a bit like boot camp. If you're familiar with the military, you're in a limited time frame of having to learn a lot under strict authority, under strict resistance, under strict conditions. And then things open up and release. Okay. And you're able to thrive then based on what you've learned from those opportunities. Okay. Hopefully, for most of you, the worst of it is behind you, and now it's a time of slowly easing up. They're showing me winter, that deep snow that you've been slogging through is melting away and opening up to spring, which is, represents abundance. It represents all the gifts from the universe. So hopefully the worst is over for you. But let's jump into the cards and see what they want to tell you here. So at the heart of your reading, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, and that's being challenged by the Two of Swords. So the King of Pentacles reverse are telling me that in your career, okay, they're saying you may have struggled somewhat with like challenges with authority. That means a boss. That could mean customers. That could mean clients. It could mean somebody who has some say in your progress going forward. There may have been some challenges there that have disrupted your comfort level a bit. If you haven't been having challenges with an authority figure, they're giving me outside of that, you've been nudged, right, in some way out of your comfort zone. Things have been, what is the word again? They're saying seriously restrictive, seriously uncomfortable. Not to say it's been devastating or anything like that, but you should recognize that you've been feeling like you've really been struggling. Okay? You're not in this place of relaxing, sitting back and enjoying the fruits of your labors by any stretch. You're working hard, you're struggling, you feel like nothing's working in some way. And you may even feel like there is a boss or someone else who is either out to get you or just won't cut you any slack. That, may not be for everybody, but for some of you, most definitely. Now, this energy is being challenged by the Two of Swords. Now, let me just hear what they want to say about that. They're saying there is a knowing in you that things can't stay difficult forever. You know this. You don't know exactly what to do to ease it up, but rather than fight it, with the Two of Swords, you just try to put your head down, block out what you can, and focus on what you can. Just doing the best you can, given the conditions you're in. And believe it or not, that is helping you. That's challenging this uncomfortable feeling. It's challenging this difficult time, meaning that it's kind of at cross purposes, which is helping you. This being able to block out the distractions, block out to the biggest extent possible, like your feelings about this, and just being able to focus on what's most important is helping to keep you from getting too swallowed up in the challenges. Okay. Now you're at the base of the reading here is the Seven of Wands reversed. And again, they're giving me this feeling of focusing, going inward, removing distractions, doing what you can to stay focused on the end game. You're not at the top of your game right now, and you know that. But you know you can be. You know you have it in you. You know that circumstances right now are not ideal. But you're going within, you're trying to put the challenges aside, and you're focusing on what you can do, not on outside circumstances, right? Now, in the recent past, we have the King of Cups reversed. This is you. You may have had moments where you've kind of been sucked into the drama of it, where you've been, shaken, where you've been convinced that you were worthless or a failure, all these horrible things we say to ourselves. You've had moments. They're telling me that those moments did not last. You rose above them, which is wonderful. You haven't fully given into that feeling, those feelings that can swallow us up when things aren't going our way. It's a bit of a test, right? It's a bit of a test. The universe is pushing you to prove your mettle, pushing you to prove to yourself what you're capable of. You also may have had someone in your life, in your work world, who has challenged you in this way as well, who has challenged you on more of an emotional level. Maybe they just weren't very nice to you. Maybe they weren't very kind. Maybe they pushed you in some way to get out of your own way. Okay. So for some of you, yes, it is an external person. I feel like for most of you, it's just been those moments where you have allowed yourself to fall apart. But again, this is in the past. You pick yourself up, you gather the pieces back together, you soldier on. Now I do see in the near future this rocky, this uncomfortable, this feeling in the past, this King of Cups reversed, transforms into the Emperor. This is a major leap forward, internally and externally. This is you taking control of your thoughts, your mind, your situation, your work. You're not letting anything set you off course. You are the boss of your progress. Now, I know you very well may not be the boss of your progress, right? Somebody else may be in control. Somebody else may be the one to call the shots. In most cases, somebody else is. I would say almost every case, even if you work for yourself, your customers have some say, don't they? Have a lot of say. But you're taking control of what you can. You're very focused, you're strategic, you're empowered. Your inner strength matches your outer, what word are you giving me? Determination. Your inner strength matches your outer determination, which is wonderful. Now, crowning your reading, this is beautiful. You have the Ten of Pentacles. This sort of casts a shadow, positive shadow in this case, on all the other aspects here in your reading. This is a card of potential outcome. This is a card of what's blessing you, the good things that are waiting for you, that are touching this year ahead. And it's the 10 of Pentacles. This is you getting all the things you deserve. Yes, you have to work for them. Yes, you have to overcome moments of doubt and, hits to your self-confidence and your self-esteem. Yes, you have to work through those challenges. There's somebody in your work world who is pushing you and pushing your buttons, but you will work through those things. You have it in you. And this card crowning your reading just says that all those blessings are right there waiting for the very moment for you to be ready. When you are ready, and that's what divine timing is. Divine timing isn't some mythical point in time in the future that the universe knows. It's when you're ready for something to happen. When you are ready on every level, then what I'm seeing is these gifts, all these wonderful blessings raining down on you. You feel more comfortable, you feel more relaxed, you feel happier, you feel blessed, you feel abundant, you feel successful. It's all there. And it's just waiting for exactly the right time for you. Now, your energy here is the Lover's card. You're very committed. You're not giving up. You know what you want for the future. Now, that doesn't mean that you're 100% committed to this particular job or this particular company. You may be. Some of you may not be. But you're committed to yourself and your growth and your progress and your path. You know what you want, and you're willing to do what it takes to get there. And that's wonderful. The environment around you is the Six of Wands reversed. The environment around you is not laid out for your success. It's not. It's laid out right now for you to be challenged, to push you, to nudge you to the next level. It may look like you're being sabotaged. It may look like you're being overlooked. It may look like you are being passed by or unappreciated. It may look like all of those things. Like something externally is preventing you from being successful. The truth is, nothing's preventing you from being successful. The universe is coming together to guarantee your success by helping you stretch, by pushing you past obstacles, by pushing you past resistance, by pushing you past situations where you need to grow and move beyond, pushing you past old cycles, pushing you past your own self-doubt and these moments where you wobble. You're being pushed, you're being challenged. You're also being taught something on an inner level. Because the Six of Wands, even if it's in reverse, still represents success. It still represents victory. It's just a victory that maybe isn't as recognizable as you'd like it to be. Yet. The advice from Spirit is the Ten of Wands in reverse. Just hear what they want to say about this. Okay, they're telling me that what you need to do in this year ahead is release the fear, release the baggage, release whatever you feel are these obstacles coming up in your way. Yes, they're going to show up. Yes, you're going to continue to be challenged for a bit. I do feel like these challenges at this point are going to start easing up. The spring is coming is what they're giving me, regardless of what time of year you're watching this. They're asking you to release it and not hang on to any negativity that may be causing some inner resistance. It's really easy when we're being challenged, when we feel like things aren't going our way, to look at our environment, to look at our boss, look at our coworkers, and say, oh, it's toxic. Everybody hates me. Nobody appreciates me. I'm coming here every day. I'm doing the work and getting nowhere. All of that may be true. But you can't change other people. You can only change you. What are these things teaching you? What are the lessons here? Are they teaching you to be stronger, to rise above whatever other people think of you, to rise above the obstacles? If you're in a toxic workplace, maybe you need to change jobs. That's up to you. But more importantly, is to learn from the situations that are being placed in front of you. What are you learning from this? What do you need to know? So when you can stop projecting what's going on in your life on other people, and I'm not saying blame yourself, not at all, but ask yourself, what do I need to know? Why am I being faced with this? What am I being shown? When you do that, you put the burden down, and it does become easier. It really does. And that's when, again, the snow starts to melt more and more. And that's when the challenges ease up. You strengthen from the inside out. You become the emperor of your career. And you get the blessings of the Ten of Pentacles. All right. So the outcome here is the Ten of Cups reversed. What they're giving me is don't read this reversal as the opposite of the Ten of Cups. That's not it at all. They're giving me that through this year, by the end of the year ahead in your career, yes, you have the Ten of Pentacles. You're going to get all the blessings. But happiness doesn't come from the outside. You're going to find by the end of this year that you are filled with happiness, with this beautiful Ten of Cups energy on the inside, which means you're happy with yourself. You know how to manage your emotions. You know how to manage difficult circumstances. You know how to manage maybe toxic coworkers or toxic boss. You know how to manage these things, and you know how to progress your career or your business in spite of them. And that brings happiness from the inside out. You've already got the blessings. You've already got the strength and the determination. By the end of the year, this happiness shines from the inside out. It truly becomes an inside job for you. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful outcome. All right, so let's look at your additional cards here. First card is card number 8, and it's community. Let me just hear what they want to say about this. Okay, what they're telling me is that the progress you're making in your career, the progress you're making in your work, where you're headed, you can't do it alone. Sometimes you need other people. Yes, sometimes you need other people to support you, to love you, to encourage you, to mentor you, all those wonderful things. But also sometimes you need people to push you. You need people to make you uncomfortable. I mean, if you look at this giraffe in this tiny little house, do you think that giraffe is comfortable in that little house? Absolutely not. The house is too small for him. And at some point, he will get pushed to a place where he is strong enough that he can stand up tall and move forward to something bigger and better. Now that's just using the picture as an example, but they're still giving me that your surroundings, your community, when it comes to your work, your workplace, your customers, your clients, coworkers, your bosses, some of them will support and love you and encourage you. Some of them will look like the enemy by stabbing you in the back, sabotaging you, criticizing you, pushing you harder than you think you can go. That doesn't make their behavior right. So don't think that I'm justifying bad behavior or toxic workplaces. I'm not. But what I am saying is there's something for you to learn from this, something for you to gain from this that will take you to higher levels, that will take you to places of abundance and happiness once you know how to deal with those situations properly and to your highest good. So your Lenormand cards. Your first card was the cross. Your second card is the bouquet. Illustrates what we're talking about here perfectly. The cross is suffering. It's challenges. It's difficult times. It's times that sometimes where we feel broken, right? But you rise above it. This girl dancing in the background, she's risen above it. She's gotten through the difficult times and she has found the beauty in the moment. She's found something to celebrate. And then on the other side of that is the bouquet. The bouquet is a gift. It's a gift from the universe. It is gathering up all your resources, all your experience, everything you've learned, and making something really, really beautiful out of it. Making something wonderful, or being given something wonderful because of everything that we have gathered and gained and learned. So this is a big learning year for you. It's an opportunity for you. I do feel like for most of you, the worst is over. You've been put through the ringer already. Now it's just a matter of gaining your footing, focusing on the lessons and what you're learning, taking control, committing, and then finding that inner happiness and joy. That's when the gifts come in. All right, group one. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you what you needed to know going forward. And thank you so much for being here, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, group two. So today we're going to look at your career and what you can expect in the year ahead. Now, the year is whenever you're finding this video. Whenever you're called to it, whenever you watch it, that's when the year begins. Your initial card is card number 50, and it says no place like home. I'm going to leave that there while we get your other cards pulled. I'm going to do a full Celtic cross spread for you today. Get a good solid picture of what's coming for you in the year ahead. Okay, those are your cards. The bottom of the deck, you have the Six of Pentacles. Right. So at the heart of your reading, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. That's being challenged by the Nine of Wands. The base of your reading is the Four of Pentacles. Recent past is the Eight of Cups. Crowning your reading is the Ace of Wands reversed. A little bit. Near future, you have the Hierophant. Your energy is the Two of Wands reversed. Your environment is the Queen of Wands reversed. The advice from Spirit, Page of Wands reversed. And the outcome is strength. All right, I'm going to pull a couple of Lenormand cards as well. All right, the first card is the Tree. And that's followed by stars. Beautiful. All right, give me just a minute. I just want to take these cards in and I'm going to listen for some initial messages for you from Spirit. And then we'll go through all of this and see what you can expect in the year ahead, okay? So bear with me one sec while I listen, y'all. They're telling me that going forward in this year ahead, you're going to be pushed a bit to set yourself apart from others and do something only you can do and in the way only you can do it. This is going to be something special to you. Now, it doesn't mean you're changing jobs necessarily. We'll see as we get into here. But you may be changing the way you do your job. There may be a change in the role you have there. I am getting a lot of you will move to a self-employed status, meaning you're going to choose to work for yourself, maybe in addition to a full-time career for the time being, or maybe instead of. Let's see what else they want to tell you. They're telling me you're going to be pushed to believe in yourself. Because if you can't believe in yourself, then you can't really put yourself out there the way they're telling me that you're going to. You're going to be taking on, oh, that's interesting. They said you're going to be taking on new identities, meaning you're going to change the way you see yourself in your career, and you're going to change the way other people see you. You're going to be doing something very different. Like, I know they're putting this in very big terms, just as we get started. But when you boil it all down, whatever it is you do, wherever you're working, whatever your role or job is, you're going to be fine-tuning it this year to a place where you're doing something that you're very good at, whether you know it now or not, something that challenges you in a good way, you know what I mean? It pushes you, it they're saying it makes you feel alive again. So maybe you've been getting a bit bored in your job. And it's something that's going to make you very proud of yourself. So it's something that's going to feel very special to you in some way. Whether this is a project within your job, again, it could be a new role or a new job altogether. It could be a side job that you take on that makes you feel really good about yourself and what you're doing, and that showcases you in a way that you've not been showcased before. Interesting. All right, let me see if there's anything else they want to tell you before we jump into the cards. Okay, all right, so let's jump into the cards. So at the heart of your reading, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, and that's being challenged or crossed by the Nine of Wands. They're telling me that right now there's something about your job or what you do. It lacks a little bit of joy with this Ace of Wands reversed. Doesn't mean you hate it. I don't believe that you hate it. It's gotten a bit stale. It may have gotten a bit boring. For some of you, it feels like you might be too good for your job. Like you're ready for more, you know, and you'll recognize that if it's you. For others of you, it's just gotten a bit monotonous. And there's this need to find your own path within whatever you're doing that you enjoy more. Because right now there's something missing. There's something missing. Now, what's going to shake that energy up? What is challenging that energy is the Nine of Wands. You're not giving up. You might not be thrilled. You might not be ecstatic about your job or your work. There might be days when you just think, oh my God, I can't do this another day. I'm bored. I'm over it. You know, maybe you can do it in your sleep. I don't know. But there's something here. You're not going to give up. You know you can do more. You want more for your job, for yourself, for your career, for your work, and you're willing to fight for it. You may not know exactly what you need to do or how it's going to go or, you know, where to take it, but you know you're willing to fight for the progress you want to make. And there's this energy here of, yeah, you may be bored. It might be a bit monotonous, but you're up for the challenge to do something better. To do something, I'm really feeling it's like to do something that only you can do, or to do it in a way that is uniquely you. You might be doing a job a million people do every day, but you're going to do it in a way that you add your own twist to it, your own spark, your own originality to it in some way. Even if you're an accountant, right? There's probably not a whole lot of creativity and originality in accounting. It may be the way you put your reports together. It may be a way that you interact with customers, with clients, with coworkers. It may be just how you describe things, how you change other people's understanding of what you do. That's just an example, y'all. I know not all of you are accountants, but I was trying to pick like maybe the one career that feels like it has the least wiggle room, right? You're going to find your wiggle room, not to be unethical or to not do things properly, but to do them in a way that makes you uniquely proud of the work you've done. Okay? Now, at the base of your reading, we have the Four of Pentacles. You're feeling stuck right now. You don't want to lose what you've got. You know, maybe you're paid well, or there's something about what you're doing that you don't want to let go. You don't want to give up. Clearly, you're not giving up with this Nine of Wands. But you're also, you know, there's this itchy feeling of, but I know I got to do something different, or I'm not going to survive another year. That kind of feeling. But right now, your energy is a bit stuck. It's feeling a bit closed off. And in a way, you know, normally I would say that's not the best energy to be in, but in a way, it's this energy of not being willing to give up that is ultimately going to help you. Because you can only stand to be bored for so long, or to not be challenged in a positive way for so long before you have to just break out of that mold and do something about it. And it's this not being willing to give up that ends up pushing you to where you need to go. All right, in the recent past, you've got the Eight of Cups. You probably have thought about walking away in the past. You're hanging on, you're not giving up. But I would bet in the last year or so, you've had your moments where you thought, I'm over it. I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore. I need to do something different, go somewhere else. I need a job that is more fulfilling, more satisfying, makes me happier, because you're not really all that happy at the moment. But this is in the past. You've had thoughts of giving up, but you're hanging in there. You're hanging in there because there's something that still is inspiring to you. You may not know exactly what it is just yet. That's the truth. But you're willing to look for it. It's kind of like that sheer stubbornness is what pushes you. They're showing me, what is the animal you're showing me? A rhinoceros or a, maybe it's a big muscular animal, but they're showing me this animal kind of just pushing its way. Maybe it's a bull pushing its way through a wall, like through a wall of rocks and stones, and pushing its way through. And it's like it's this stubbornness and this refusing to give up that enables the breakthrough, that creates the breakthrough, that creates this new opportunity. Interesting. What we would normally think is a detriment, is a negative thing, really is working to your favor in that sense. All right, so crowning your reading, you have the Ace of Wands reversed. Now, to me, this position is like an umbrella. Touches all the other energies here. It's a potential outcome. It's a gift. It's a blessing. The Ace of Universe in reverse. Let me just hear what they want to tell you about this. Or I'm sorry, the Ace of Universe. The Ace of Wands in reverse. So funny. The words that come out of your mouth when you're not, when you're kind of in a slightly altered state. Oh, that's interesting. They're telling me you're creating new opportunity by going within. You're not waiting for opportunity to show up for you. The Ace of Wands is often an opportunity that's handed to you. A moment that shows up, that inspires you, motivates you, gets you, your motor running. This one comes from the inside. This one starts with you, because nobody's handing it to you. I get the sense that people are happy enough with your work. You're not miserable. You don't hate your job. It's kind of, it's no longer inspiring. But that inspiration comes because you're not giving up. You know you can do more, and it sort of stirs on the inside, and it stirs something up. It sparks something on the inside. And it creates this moment of this aha moment, this eureka moment, where you're able to see how you can do things differently and to make your job your own in some way. For some of you, it is this spark of excitement where you take what you do and you take it, you just give me off-road. You take it off-road, meaning whatever you're doing in your job, you find a way to make it yours in your own, either like side hustle, side job, that you get started, or you just plain just go work for yourself. But it starts on the inside. And it's this inner spark that really shines a light on everything else here. In the near future, you have the Hierophant. You're going to have, absolutely, I'm getting this aha moment where what are you saying? They're saying where you've taken what you've learned, you've taken all the rules, the regulations, the restrictions, the policies, and whatever it is you do, you make it your own. You create your own joy out of it. If you notice, this Hierophant on this card is so full of joy. And right behind him is this ladder that goes up to who knows where, right? You can't even see the end of it. For you in this reading, this is the ladder of success. This is leading somewhere beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's going to bring you a lot of joy. This Ace of Cups reversed, this feeling of blah, gives way to this beautiful feeling of knowing you're doing the right thing, you're on the right track, you're moving forward in a way that feels right, even if it's different from what everyone else does, and it might be, most likely will be in some way. It's not, they're saying it's nothing unlawful, it's nothing that is going to get you into trouble, it's nothing that anyone would frown upon, but it still might surprise people. Because in some way it feels a bit unconventional, like you're breaking free from the dogma of what normally is the Hierophant card. And it's just beautiful. All right, so your energy is the Two of Wands reversed. Again, they're telling me you're feeling a bit stuck. You don't know what to do right now. And they're saying that's okay. You don't have to know. It will come to you. It will come to you at the right time. All you have to do is allow it. All you have to do is allow it. Don't concentrate too much on the what can I do? What do I do? How do I do? Release that. Let the universe step in and show you what's special about you. And then you'll see it. Because there's something here. Hold on. You were just saying something and it just zipped right out of my head. Please say that again. I lost it. Sorry, y'all. It'll come back to me. They'll send it back to me another way. I don't want to make anything up. I do feel like with this Hierophant, they're giving me this energy that for some of you, you're going to take what you've learned and you're going to teach. You're going to go from doing something that you've gotten very good at and transferring that knowledge to others who want to know how to do what you do. And you're going to find that you are uniquely suited to it. Even if you've never thought of being a teacher or a tutor or a coach before, the circumstances that happen in this year will show you otherwise, and you'll get inspired. Maybe somebody just comes to you and says, can you teach me this or that? And you're just teaching one person and you're showing them how to do something, and in that process you realize this is something you do very well. This is something you're meant to do, that you are uniquely suited for. For others of you, I feel like there's this inspiration to write about what you do, which is in essence teaching. You know, you're teaching via writing an article, writing a book, writing a manual in some way, training others at work. You start somehow, you get this inspiration to start putting what you know into a pot, mixing it up, and then kind of serving it out to others in a new way. I do feel strongly a lot of you are going to be teaching in some way or coaching, training at the end of the year. That won't be everybody, but it did come to me pretty strongly. But again, right now, you don't know. You don't even know what your options are. You're feeling like, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Just let it be. The environment around you is the Queen of Wands reversed. Again, this is the environment you're in, the job you're doing has grown stale. It probably used to excite you, probably used to inspire you and make you feel wonderful and powerful, and used to get you up out of bed in the morning, but it just doesn't anymore. Some of it's that you just have gotten bored with the job. Some of it may just be that you've been doing it for so long and you are good at it, but people no longer respond to your work the way they used to. They just expect you to be good, and that's that. There's no more praise. There's no more adulation or acknowledgement. Just, you just sort of come and go, and feels a bit unnoticed. It's a nudge. It's a nudge for you to see what inspires you next. The advice from Spirit is the Page of Wands reversed. What they just said to me is, don't look for it. Wait for it. The inspiration here, just like with the Ace of Wands reversed, the inspiration will come from the inside, but not from thinking about it, not from analyzing it, not from creating a list or brainstorming, which is often something we should do. It's not coming from that. They want you to turn your brain off and wait for inspiration. It will show up. It will show up from possibly someone coming up to you and saying, can you show me how you do what you do? Or can you do this for me? Or they give you a problem that needs a creative solution that inspires you to do something slightly different, Or somebody outside of your work says, can I pay you to do something that's related to your job or your work? And you realize you can make money on the side doing it. So wait for the inspiration to arrive, and it will. It will show up. Just be open to it. But you can't. What Spirit wants you to know is that right now, in this situation, you're not going to be able to think your way there. They want you to allow it. And truthfully, wait for it a bit. Look for it, Look for ideas that spark you, but look for it from the heart, meaning, be open to something that feels great when it shows up, and then see where that can go. But don't sit at your desk tomorrow and go, okay, well, what else can I do? Let me just write a list. Let me brainstorm. Let me see what other people are doing. Just wait for it. You'll know it when it shows up. So the outcome here is Strength reversed. Just hear what they want to say. I was just going to say, be kind to yourself, which is a really strong message when you're feeling kind of blah. But I know they have something more they want to say about this card, so bear with me. Oh, interesting. They're saying that right now you may not feel like there is a beast that needs to be tamed, there is a beast that needs to be conquered, that there is an obstacle that needs to be overcome. You may not even feel like there is that. You're just feeling kind of bored. Things just feel kind of monotonous. You don't hate your job, you just do it. Pays the bills, You're not realizing that there's something to be conquered here. But by the end of the year, you will have conquered it, but it will happen from the inside out. Again, a lot of this is happening from the inside of you. But it will manifest outwardly, meaning it will change your world. It will make you happier. You will be on a different path. Oh, interesting. They're showing me here. I turn the card around just so you can see it better. How this girl, half of her face is human and the other half is lion. That's one of the changes that happen here, is that you transform who you are, how you are seen, how you project yourself, and how you feel about yourself. You change. Not that one is better than the other, but one definitely has you feeling more empowered and more excited than the other. You're transforming. It's a very transformative year for you. Okay, so let's look at your other cards here. Oh, okay. They want me to talk about the card at the bottom of the deck. The Six of Cups. What do you want to tell them about this? Oh, they're saying the underlying energy here is about growth. It's about growth. It's about taking what you have learned in the past and allowing it to transform into something else, right? Like the child and the puppy transforming into the adult and the dog. It's not a complete overhaul, but it is a transformation. You're growing. This year you're growing and you're changing. You're taking your experience and you're turning it into something that is uniquely you. Okay? That's the underlying message here. All right. So looking at your oracle card here, no place like home. Let me just see. They're talking about this house and how it's hanging on a pole. They're saying it's just dangling there. Your comfort level is just dangling there. In other words, you're comfortable, but you're also not going anywhere. That changes. That changes. This light that's shining off of this house ends up becoming a bit like a lighthouse. Instead of a place where you're stuck, you end up becoming the beacon for other people, the light for other people, the answer other people need based on what you do and how you manage to progress what you do to a new level. Just something that is, again, uniquely you. For some of you, of course, you will be moving away from a workplace and working from home, but that really is very much just a side message here. So your Lenormand cards, we go from the tree to the stars. Feels very indicative of what they've already told you here. The tree is, it's not bad, right? Trees blossom, they grow, but they're rooted and they're a bit stuck, right? So you're not in a bad place, you're just a bit stuck. You're a bit stagnant. That energy moves into the stars energy, which is, what word are you giving me? They're giving me the word infinity. There's this endlessness to it, this openness, this vastness to it. And there's this spark and this shine that comes from you. There's something about this year that transforms you, where you finally become, where you finally start to do what you're really meant to do. At least for the next long while. They're giving me like 10 years down the road. It's at least where it changes your career projection, your career appreciation, your career affinity, how you feel about it, as well as how it looks to other people, your success, what you're doing and how you're doing it transforms into something really beautiful and exciting. And it puts you in the spotlight in some way because you're doing it like no one else has. And that's what makes you special, is when you are able to take what you are good at or what you like doing, what you love doing, but you transform it in a way that is special to you and that inspires you. All right. Okay, group 2, I hope that helps. I hope it brings you what you needed and kind of gives you some encouragement and excitement for the year ahead. So thank you so much for being here, y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, group 3. Today we're looking at what you can expect from your career over the year ahead. And of course, the year begins whenever you're watching this. This isn't a time-based reading like 2025 or whatever. It's whenever you find this reading, whenever you're drawn to watch it, that's when the year starts, okay? So trust the timing. All right, your initial card is number 26, and it's Happy, Happy. I'll leave that there while we get your other cards pulled. I'm going to do a full Celtic cross spread for you today so we can get a real good picture of what you can expect going forward. Okay, those are your cards. The bottom of the deck, you have the Tower reversed. And we'll get to that later. Let's take a look here. So at the heart of your reading, you have the Page of Wands reversed. That's being challenged by the Knight of Wands reversed. The base of your reading, you have the Queen of Swords. Recent past is the Eight of Pentacles. Crowning your reading is the Two of Swords. The near future, you have the Eight of Wands. Your energy is the Ten of Pentacles. Your environment is the Seven of Cups reversed. The advice from Spirit is Strength reversed. And your outcome is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. All right. And I'm going to pull a couple of Lenormand cards as well. We have the Cross. And the Crossroads. All right, I'm going to leave those cards for the end. And we'll start with these. So give me just a minute. I just like to listen for any initial messages for you before we jump into the cards. So bear with me one sec while I listen, y'all. All right, they're telling me on some level, okay, and we'll find out what that means exactly. But on some level, you're going to be starting over in the year ahead. Not from scratch, right? You never start from scratch, not really. You're starting from whatever experience you've already created for yourself, you've already built up. But you're rebuilding something. You might be going, they're telling me it might feel like you're going backwards in some sense, but you're actually not. They're saying right now, with where you are, what you're doing, maybe it's the job you're in, the job you're doing, the company you work for. They're telling me you've gone about as far as you can go for the time being. So you're actually going to be starting over in some way, but this starting over is going to lead you somewhere much, much better. So it may just be that you're starting over with a new company, right? Anyway, we'll get into it. They're giving me this sense of starting over, of rebuilding, going back to the drawing board in some sense, to rebuild something that will end up being much, much more beneficial for you. Okay. All right, let's find out what that means. Let's get into the cards here. Don't let that scare you, because they're telling me it's not that this isn't about losing your job and having to start over, first of all. They're saying you're going to choose this. You're going to choose to take a step back. You're going to be reassessing what you do, where you do it, how you do it. And in some sense, and trust that we'll get into some of that detail here, but in some sense, you're going to decide that going backwards will actually take you forward. It's like taking one step back and then taking a leap forward into the future, into something better career-wise. Okay, so let that sit. Don't judge it too much. Don't let that scare you and jump off the video. Hopefully, scares you a lot. Maybe it's all the more reason why you should listen, because there's something here. Something's got to change here. All right, so starting with your cards. The heart of your reading, we have the Page of Wands reversed, and that card is being challenged by this Knight of Wands reversed. So the Page of Wands reversed. What are they giving me? They're telling me something. Hold on. They're saying you can feel it. There's something, it feels like something's dying out. It's like you're not going anywhere. You want to grow, you want to progress. It may be that your job, wherever you work, just lacks opportunity. It may be that the career you're in, maybe you've maxed out kind of where it can take you for some of you. But there's something here that you just know, you know it. On some level, you know it. That you've gotten everything you can get out of this role, out of this job, out of this company, whatever it may mean for you, or business if it's for yourself. There's something here that's telling you to change it up in some way. Okay? Now that feeling of wanting to change it up is being challenged here by the Knight of Wands reversed. It can be scary, right? It can be scary to take a step back, to reassess what we're doing and who we're doing it for. It can be scary. So you may have this feeling of not wanting to take that leap, not wanting to make a change. Right? Kind of that pull of, do I shake my life up in order to create something better? It can be risky, it can be scary, it can be uncomfortable. Or do I just stay put and just accept the status quo and just maybe know this is as good as it gets? Hope it gets better someday. You know, it's kind of, you know, from the outside looking in, you can say, well, of course you're going to you take the chance, go for it. But, you know, when it's you, it's not so easy. Right? When it's your livelihood, when it's what puts a roof over your home and food on the table, it can be scary to take a chance. So this is understandable. At the base of the reading, we have the Queen of Swords. You've been given this some thought. This shouldn't be new to you. You should understand on some level that you may have maxed out in some way. The Queen of Swords, in this particular one, not so much. She's kind of immersed in the clouds, but on a typical Queen of Swords, her head is actually above the clouds. And they're giving me that as a dual message here. Part of you knows. Part of you knows that you've risen above, or that you need to rise above the situation you're in. But part of you is also in the clouds, meaning you don't know. You're thinking about it. You're contemplating it. You're trying to figure it out, but it still feels a bit clouded. It feels a bit unsure. And I'm certain it feels a bit scary. You know, even just changing jobs, changing who you work for can be scary. Even if you know you've gone as far as you can go with this particular employer, it still can be scary. So I totally get it. But You're thinking practically about it, and you're really giving it serious thought. And that's all you can do right now, right? It's important. All right. So in the past, we have the Eight of Pentacles. They're giving me that you've worked hard, you've done a good job, you've learned what you needed to learn. But if you notice on this particular Eight of Pentacles, it takes us all the way through the cycle of the moon, from full moon to new moon, all the way across the board. Actually, new moon to full moon, back to new moon. You're starting over. You've done the cycle, you've done it all. You've learned what you can learn, you've progressed as far as you can progress, and then what? Then you end up in a place here with this new moon, ready for something new. Now, this is in the recent past, meaning you've already done this. You've done the work, you've learned, you've grown, you've become the expert in whatever it is you do on some level. But it's only gotten you so far. And now it's time for what? We don't know, right? Crowning your reading is the Two of Swords. Now, let me just listen. I want to hear what they want to tell you about this. Because they're highlighting to me the crows on this card. And they're giving me that the crows represent a message, and the crows represent a death. Not a literal death in this case. Oh, okay. They're saying it's the death of you ignoring the reality of your situation. You notice she's got the blindfold over her eyes, and these crows are screaming at her. Take the blindfold off. You know you're feeling stuck. You know you've gone as far as this particular iteration of your career can go. What are you going to do next? This year ahead is all about you taking that blindfold off and making some decisions for yourself. And it's transformative. It is transformative. It's going to be a very important year for you because it sets you off on a new path. It sets you off in a new direction. Doesn't mean you're changing careers necessarily, but there's definitely a change. There's definitely a going back to the drawing board in some way. Now, in the near future, you have the Eight of Wands. Once you make up your mind to make a change, boy, does it happen quick, right? Ideas start to come to you, projects start to appear, maybe new jobs, new roles, new companies. Things start to show up. And it may feel like a lot in the moment. It may feel even a bit overwhelming because you're trying to change something, whether it be change your career, change your job, change who you work for, change how you do your work. You're trying to rebuild your career in some sense. And there's all this coming at you. They're telling me it does happen very quickly. The change doesn't happen very quickly, but the ideas and the impact of that realization you get that enough is enough, that hits you very quickly, very quickly. And they're telling me it can be a bit disorienting, can be a bit uncomfortable, but it can also be very exciting. It really can. And it should be exciting. Because you've got this world of opportunity in front of you. You just need to break out of the mold a little bit. Find a new path. Find your new thing. Whether it's brand new or just a slightly different version of what you're doing in the what you do, the how you do it, the where you do it, there's going to be a change. Okay? Now your energy is the Ten of Pentacles. Listen, you've got it all. And you may not feel like you've got it all, but with what you're doing and where you're doing it and how you're doing it, you've reached a comfort level but you've also gotten to a place where you've gotten everything out of it you can. You've bled this puppy dry, right? You've gotten everything you could get out of it. I still feel this sense of dissatisfaction. You want more. You're not going to get more on this same exact path. Something's got to change here because your environment is the Seven of Cups reversed. There's just not a lot of options around you right now. Now, this is whether this is in the company you're in, maybe it's in the career you've chosen for yourself. Maybe you have to go back to school. Maybe you have to find a slightly different career. Maybe you need new certifications in order to take your career to the next level, to go beyond what you're doing. But there is a change. There is a change here because what's around you is limited, very, very limited. And you've gotten what you could out of it. So the advice from Spirit is strength reversed. Okay, that's interesting. They're saying it's time to stop milking this particular cow. And I know this card doesn't have any cows on it, but I'm just giving you what they just said in my head. Time to stop milking this particular cow. You've gotten all the milk out of it. You know, it's time to stop stroking this lion, if you want to think about that, the traditional strength card. You've done a good job. You've progressed nicely. You've gotten where you could have hoped to go based on what you do and how you do it. But it's now time for you to step away and try it differently. Try something different, do it differently, or do it somewhere else. And don't be afraid. And that's easy for me to say, don't be afraid. But that's the advice from Spirit is don't be afraid. Believe in yourself and trust yourself. You know when something needs to change. We all do. We can sense it. It's just scary, so we talk ourselves out of it. And that's how we get stuck in jobs that go nowhere. Right? Or we get stuck, even if you have your own business, you may feel that you're either losing ground or you're just stuck, not progressing. It's because you have to go back to the drawing board and do it differently now. Doing it the same way is not getting you there anymore. Milk a different cow, or find a way to get something else out of the cow besides milk. I don't know. It's a weird analogy. Sorry, y'all. So your outcome card is the Page of Pentacles reversed. You just hear what they want to say about this. Hold on one second. They're telling me this year it's gonna, in a way, it will knock you off balance a little bit, but it's supposed to, right? This year doesn't want you to stay in the same seat. So they just gave me. They don't want you to stay in the same seat, in the same spot. You may have been in the same place now that you've been for a year or more, or 2 years or more, without a lot or without significant progress in that time. They're just saying it's time to get out of that chair and start creating some change for yourself. It won't be handed to you. It's not a gift that comes in. It's a decision you make to change things up, to find a better way, to find a new way. Maybe to find a new job, right? Maybe to expand your career again by going back to school, getting new certifications, changing how you do your business or how you do your work or who you do it for, okay? Allow that information to sit with you. Allow that to simmer and become something, right? You don't have to make a change tomorrow, but you are being called to take the blindfold off. It's time. It's time to shake it up. Do it a little bit differently so that you can really explode your career instead of staying stagnant. So at the base of your reading here is the Tower reversed. And this really is the underlying energy. This is not the tearing down of your career, but the rebuilding. You're going to rebuild your career to new heights, right? You're going to take this little house, representation of this house, and you're going to go back and rebuild that house so that it's a tower, it's a high rise. You're going to go much, much further once you take this step back, reassess, and rebuild. Okay. All right, so let's go back and look at these cards again. So your initial card was happy, happy. You might be happy enough in your work, right? I don't feel a sense of unhappy. I just feel a sense of you're not going anywhere. It's not getting you where you want to go. You've reached the ceiling. And that does create a little sense of unhappiness. But this happy, happy card, you notice she's sitting on an egg. She's creating something new that goes from a little bit happy or a little bit comfortable or a little bit unhappy, a little bit uncomfortable, to being happy, happy, to being ecstatic, to rising up, becoming the star of your own career. If you notice, she's got a star in her hand and a star right on her head. It's time to make that change. It is time. So your two Lenormand cards, you've got the cross and you have the crossroads. The cross leads to the crossroads. This feeling of being stuck, being buried. That's what they just gave me. Being buried. Immovable. Dead, just like the crows. They were talking about the crow being a messenger, of a death. Something needs to end. Allowing the ending to lead you to somewhere happier. And changing the path. Let it take you somewhere new. It doesn't have to be a complete overhaul, but it does need to be a rebuilding in some way. You're rebuilding it into something better that has more opportunity built into it, more potential. Whatever that is or wherever it is, you get to decide in some way. All right, group 3, I hope that helps. I hope it didn't scare you too much, because it's not scary. It's actually very, very exciting, because the potential here is unlimited. It's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and have a great day, y'all. Bye-bye.